Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is going to be an October Vibes makeup look. This is very fall appropriate and it is starring one of my favorite shadows at the moment from MAC called Amber Lights, and basically it's just a very autumn inspired look. So the first thing that we're going to do is use some MAC Pro Longwear Concealer to look like a total mess as we are priming our eyelids for our shadows. Just make sure that you blend that out nicely with your finger. And then we're going to take a neutral shadow. I'm using Buff for my Lorac 2 palette, and I am just taking that on a big fluffy blending brush and I am dusting that all over my eyelid from the bottom to the brow. So I'm just taking that color all over the lid. Then I'm going to be going in with the same brush and the color light brown also from the same palette, and I'm just going to be putting this down in the background as a transition shade, but I want to make sure that I'm focusing the color more or less on the outer part of my eye, trying to start creating a little bit of a V cat eye shape with the shadow, because instead of making it more of a rounded look, I kind of want it to extend out and elongate my eyes. So I'm taking this shadow just on the outer part of my eye and blending it out as I go. Once I've built up that color enough, I want to start darkening that area with some darker shadows. So the first one that I'm going to take to darken it up is this one here from my Stila Mind palette. And I'm just going to be placing that color right over top of my first shadow and just blending it out again. Next, I'm going to be switching to a smaller and more precise blending brush, and I'm going to be taking the color Foley by MAC, and I'm just going to be blending that again over top the other colors that I put down because I still need it to be a little bit darker. The color that I'm going to be picking up after this is a shadow from Morphe brushes, and I'm going to list the number that it's called in the description bar below, but basically it's just a little bit of a darker plum shade, and I'm just going to be taking that more so on the outer V of my eye and taking it slightly onto my lid. The other colors I kind of placed in the outer V and into my transition crease area, but this I'm taking more on the lid so that I have a little bit of darkness going on in the outer parts of my eye. So I'm just going to be dabbing the color on to kind of get the intensity down, and then I'm going to start blending out in that area, but I'm focusing it on the outer parts of my eyes. I'm not taking it more than halfway on my lid. Next up is the star of the show. I'm taking a flat shader brush and the color Amber Lights from MAC, and I'm just going to be patting this color down on my eyelid, blending it into that darker plum shadow that I just placed down. So I'm just dabbing away to make sure that I don't get too much fallout all over my face, but I'm just pressing this onto my lid and kind of blending it into that other shade. Next, I'm taking this reddish gold shadow, again from Morphe brushes, and I'll list the number of it in the description box below as well. And I'm just going to be putting that on the outer half of my eyelid, blending it into the darker purple shades. And then I'm going to be blending everything out so that everything blends into each other seamlessly. And then because I felt like I lost a little bit of that darkness in the outer corner, I'm going to be deepening it up again with the colors that I used before. Next, I'm going to be taking this highlight shade and I'm going to be highlighting underneath my brow. I like to do this step now as opposed to after I fill in my brows because I always forget about it. So I'll just do it now and then I fill in my brows. What I'm using to fill in my brows is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the color Chocolate. Basically what I do is I just comb through my brows and kind of get them in the shape and go in the direction that I like them to lay down. And then I take a angled brush and I kind of shape my brows in the way that I am in the mood to do them that day. I like them more like rounded recently. Bless me. Sorry about that. I've been getting really bad allergies recently. But basically I'm just going to be filling in my brows and then I'm going to move on to the rest of my face. Okay, so now that brows are done, I'm going to start with my face makeup. I'm using the Benefit Professional to just prime my face. Then I'm taking a little bit of the Marc Jacobs concealer and I'm just placing that underneath my eyes to conceal. Then I'm mixing my EX1 foundation and my Bobbi Brown BB cream because it has SPF and the EX1 foundation does not. So I'm just mixing that behind on the back of my hands, and I'm going to be placing it on my face and then pressing and blending that into my face with my Sigma F80 brush. So once I am done setting that foundation onto my face and pushing it and blending it down my neck and everywhere that needs to be, I am going to conceal / highlight. So I'm just using my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in shade number 10, and I'm just popping that underneath my eyes and up towards my temple, then blending that out with my damp beauty blender. Keyword here is damp, people. Don't try and use it dry. It just does not look as good. So now I'm just going to be setting my face with my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in Translucent, and just taking that all over the places that could potentially get oily and places that I don't want my concealer to crease, like under my eyes and down my T-zone, which is just my forehead, down my nose to my mouth and chin area. So yeah, just setting that. And then I'm going to move back up to my eyes and just finish them off by smoking out some darker shadows that I used before, like Foley and that other dark cranberry color, just underneath my eyes. Smoking that out and blending away. Don't get shy with this part. Blend as much as possible. It will look good if you keep on blending, I promise. So now I'm just going to be blending all those 3 shades together to make sure that they blend into each other nicely, and move on to blush. I'm just using this one by Tarte. I'll leave the name in the description box below. Then I'm going in with some bronzer. This one is the Chocolate de Soleil bronzer by Too Faced, and putting that in the contours of my face, on my forehead, and down my neck. But then that wasn't enough color for me, so I'm just going to be taking my Hoola bronzer by Benefit and putting that just over top all the stuff that I just put on my face. And then moving on after that, I'm going to be taking my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder and just popping that onto the tops of my cheekbones and anywhere that I want highlighted, like down my nose, in the center of my forehead, and on my chin and Cupid's bow. So just placing that on those places and blending everything together so that we don't have any harsh lines or awkward color not blended into other things, because it just doesn't look cute if it's not blended. So I'm just going to be blending that all out. Then I'm going to be curling my lashes, popping on a coat of mascara. The one that I'm using is the L'Oreal Telescopic, which is my pretty much all-time favorite mascara. Then I'm just going to be lining my lips with this neutral shade by Italia, and this is just a like nude lip liner. And I'm going to be using this Revlon Color Stay like liquid lipstick lip gloss situation. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but basically you put down the color, you top it off with the gloss, and then it stays all day. You can eat, you can drink, and it will not come off. This is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.